steps that the government will be taking in regard with the case. But for now, we shift our focus and move to the other big story that we're attacking here on Republic, which is coming in from Ladakh, where there is a big inside scoop on Republic when it comes to the disengagement plan agreed upon by India and China, where we learn that the pact was first agreed upon at diplomatic level, and then is when the disengagement started. What we also learn via Indian Army sources is that patrolling along LAC will begin once disengagement over both sides, once disengagement is over, and both sides will move troops, dismantle temporary structures is what we know. That's the latest coming in when we talk about the India-China patrol agreement that was agreed upon. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is the big breakthrough that India has achieved just days after Modi and Xi Jinping met at the BRICS summit, the friendly handshake that they had at the BRICS summit, and soon after this big breakthrough where we learned that India and China have started disengagement along the LAC, mainly on the points of Depsang and Demchok is what we know. Indian Army sources say that the agreement framework was first agreed upon at diplomatic level, and then military level talks took place, is what the Indian Army sources have to say. What we also learn is that the patrolling along the LAC to begin once disengagement is over. Both sides will move troops and dismantle temporary structures is what we know, is the information that we are gathering from the Indian Army sources. We also learned that the disengagement at two friction points at Demchok and Depsang are planned to be completed by October 28 to 29 is what we know. I am told that I'm being joined by Lieutenant General Rakesh Sharma, joining me live on the broadcast. Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for joining us. Your first thoughts on the big breakthrough that India has achieved when it comes to the border tensions at the LAC. The disengagement has begun. It is set to be completed by 28 to 29 of October. Your first reaction on the story?
So thank you for inviting me. I'm General Sharma. The fact of the matter is that this is a great positive step that has happened. It's a very positive development, and in the course of 3 to 4 days, we have moved forward now to disengage at these 2 points, which is Depsang. Actually, in fact, it will be off Bottleneck and Y Junction that leads across to Depsang, and along the Demchok Nala, where there will be disengagements and they will be patrolling that commence in this manner. We have to see how the fine print comes out of what modalities of patrolling. Is it based on a schedule or a timeline, or and is it schedule dependent on the kind of manpower or number of people that we can use? So all those things will come subsequently, but at this juncture, it's a very positive step.
Right. What I would also like to know from you, Mr. Sharma, is now after taking this big step, do you believe that tensions between India and China are likely to come down a little? Because as we had seen in the past, due to border tensions, the India and China diplomatic relation were at a trouble stage, was walking on a tightrope. Now, soon after, the Prime Minister has held the bilateral with Xi Jinping at the BRICS summit, is when this breakthrough has been achieved. Do you think India-China relations will further see an ease, and will there be an ice thaw?
I don't know. One cannot pontificate or prognosticate on what's going to happen in future. These are first steps, important steps, very important steps, a very bold decision taken. But how things will turn out in times to come, it has to be seen. There are still large quantum of forces being deployed on both sides of the border. So what we say, the threat in being is not vanished as yet. It still exists. And the buffer zones that existed on north and south of Pekongso, as also in the Changchangmo Valley, the heights across Changchangmo Valley still persist. So the forces are still deployed on both sides of the buffers. Hopefully things will progress in other areas also gradually, and see how things will come out. But today and for the coming week, it is important for us to say that patrolling will commence to the Depsang Plateau, which is very important. It's a very substantive step, because we are now putting a foot into the Aksai Chin back, which we were unable to do so in the course of last 4.5 years. So there's a great positive step there. And of course, we will start patrolling right up to the CNN junction, along the Demchok Nala, which was not being done for 4.5 years. So there are positive steps here, but then there are very large number of more steps which are required to ease off tensions. And I think for the time being to say that the trust can be built up, well, it's not going to be so easy after what we had seen, what happened in 2020.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Lieutenant General Rakesh Sharma for joining me on the broadcast. For now, we move on and shift our focus to the other